Hello everyone, how's it going? Welcome to the Advanced Anime Livecast. I'm your host, Metal Monster.
And I'm Full Metal 21889.
Glad you all could join us this evening. Don't see anybody
What?
quite yet. But maybe some people pop in.
Yeah, we got a couple people so far.
Yeah. Alright. So this, I believe, is the 18th episode.
Episode 18 it is. Anime versus cartoons. The epic battle. Who will win?
Still echoing.
That's an annoying issue.
Recording.
Test. Didn't hear anything that time. Huzzah! Ah, yeah, that could be. Yeah, I think this is working pretty good though. Yep. This week's member guessing game. Hold on, let me pull it up again. Ugh. So, as some of you may know, this week's member guessing game clue was Android Annie. The correct answer was any robot. And the people who got it right this week, we had 3 guesses. We have Morogu Girl 2, Suki Tenchi, and VZA. You all got the answer. Congratulations, you guys.
I wonder if they could still hear things now. I did a little bit of altering. Can you all hear me? I don't think they can hear me.
Try asking them in the chat.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait. Okay. Olivia says she can hear you now.
Alright, better. Going nuts, can hear. Oh, welcome. Alright. Alright, so, as usual, our first item on the agenda is to go to What's New AA and look at the forums. So let's switch to that. Alright, should switch to the member forums now.
Yep, there we go.
Alright, so let's kind of scroll down here and see what we got. Hamtaro should join us. So the newest, it looks like the newest thread is Happy Birthday, Watery Aspire.
Yeah, that seems really fresh.
Yeah, so happy birthday to her. So I guess it must have just been today, maybe? Or was it the day before? I know I posted in it. But it has to be today. Miracle Girl's on top of things.
Yep, thank you very much for that, Moroku's Girl 2, and happy birthday, Watery's Fire.
Now it's loading. Alright, so another new topic we have is Rudolph's eyes turn blue for Christmas.
Yeah, I didn't get to see that yet. What is that about? Did you check it out?
Okay, so Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer has a shiny red nose. And that's impressive, right?
Yep.
However, supposedly reindeers naturally their eyes change from gold to blue during the winter.
Huh. That's that's an interesting fact. Is there any explanation for that phenomenon?
I don't know. I know some people's eyes go from like gray to blue and stuff like that depending on like their mood. Some people, it just seems like some animals just have changing eye color. I don't know. Maybe blue's better at picking up light than gold.
Huh. I never really thought about that. That's a sort of like an interesting little trivia fact, huh?
Yeah. So that was pretty interesting. All right, let's see. The Railgun S. Have you seen that at all? I think I've seen pictures of that before, but I haven't actually seen the anime.
Yeah, when I decided to watch the videos, just like a short couple minutes clip, and the characters seem recognizable. In fact, were those characters we've seen in the galleries
Yeah, I think
recently?
so. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, yeah, those are the characters in it. It was like it was supposed to be like a sad, sort of dramatic scene where it looks like a character gets crushed by a train or something. I can't remember the features. That all happened kind of quick, but
Oh.
yeah, it looks kind of neat. It almost makes me want to think about actually trying to look at it for myself. But that's that was neat.
Alright. And Read a fanfiction project's been updated this week.
Yeah, I need to post that soon myself. I actually did manage to read a fanfiction this week. Huzzah!
So yeah, I've been trying to keep up with it. And I've put in some stories of my own that I'd like to have other people read.
Is this like something new that you haven't put up before?
No, it's old stuff that I have put up before, but not very many people have read it or reviewed it or anything like that.
Well, I mean, we've had new members coming in, so I think it'd be nice to expose them to that.
Yeah.
Give them a taste of what old day was like.
I guess so. All right, another new topic is Kingdom. Know anything about that anime?
Kingdom. I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah, I looked that up. Apparently it's an anime that was like 30 something episodes long, and it's based off of one of the periods of China. It's about these
Oh yeah, I did
two
see that. It was
yeah
China. Yeah. Huh.
yeah these two war orphans. They like aspire to be generals in the army, I think. Yeah,
That's pretty interesting.
that's what it's about. But yeah, neat.
All right, then you have the Happy Halloween thread.
Yeah, it feels like Halloween really came and went for me this past year. It's kind of sad. I looked around, like, I didn't really. I think there was a couple threads on AA I kind of missed out on, but
Yeah.
it wasn't any, particular, like, I guess creepy stories, creepy pastas, even though I read creepy pastas here and there.
Yeah, I need to check out the new Helsing Abridged if that came out today or yesterday on Halloween.
That should have come out. I looked at Team 4-Star's website. I haven't seen the new DBZ abridged. If that's, I don't know if they're planning to release those at the same time or not. But I haven't seen that up yet, and I haven't seen the new Helsing abridged up on their website yet. I think they went to a convention sometime this past weekend. I think they mentioned it on their Twitter today. So
You follow their Twitter? I need to follow their Twitter.
I think they have their like Twitter like in a corner of their homepage. They're constantly posting little updates, like videos that are coming up, like their Two Saiyans play or Krillin plays a game.
Yeah, I saw someone doing like a recap that just like the Halloween special does not affect DBZ abridged. Two Sans play does not affect DBZ abridged. Enjoy.
Huh? Wow, that's good to know.
Yeah. It seems like it's something that should be obvious and stuff like that, but it was really refreshing to hear that the other projects they work on don't affect DBZ abridged.
Yeah, that's really nice to know because I was afraid maybe we wouldn't get a DBZ abridged episode this month because we were getting a Helsing abridged.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't mind that too much. I mean, Helsing Bridge, after all, is only once a year, and it's really good.
So how do you pronounce the next topic we have on here? It looks like another anime topic.
Yeah, the one we have here. The Kuro Shitsuji one?
Yeah. I was hearing that what does that translate to? I don't know. Huh. But it seemed like that was a short-lived discussion about cartoons versus anime.
Yeah, that discussion didn't go over too well. It's one of the first times I've had to see a thread be locked for a reason like that in a while.
I was told it was Black Butler, which makes me wonder why it was a discussion about cartoons and anime. That's I was told it was Black Butler. That's why I was told. And so I'm still trying to figure out why it was a discussion of cartoon. If it was titled Black Butler, why were they discussing anime and cartoon? The difference between anime and cartoons.
The only thing I can figure is the person who made the topic must have come from, like, I guess, I don't know, some other website or some other place in the fandom where they were talking about it, and apparently he expressed his opinion, or him or her expressed their opinion kind of very aggressively, I guess.
Interesting.
It sort of came out of nowhere, I felt like.
Translation versus English name.
I mean,
Huh.
yeah.
And then the next
We talked about, yeah, go ahead.
Alright, so the next topic we have is bone collecting without being creepy. Poor him was completely creepy.
It's okay, Hamu, we all know it.
So, ways to collect bones without being creepy. The only thing I can really think of is, like, hoping you get lucky going on hiking or, well, hunting.
Yeah, I saw that was one of the suggestions there. I think someone else might have suggested like asking for like leftover bones from a butcher shop.
That could be, yeah, that could be a good idea. Or going to, like, those places that process, like, what you've hunted. Like deer and turkey and stuff like that. Maybe going there and seeing if they have leftovers there. But
Sure, might be nice.
I mean, they might actually get requests for like bones and stuff like that from people. So that maybe they might be like completely weirded out when you go, "Hey, do you have any bones and stuff like that?" And still, they'll probably charge you for
Sure.
it.
Yeah, I wonder if there's any other reasons people use bones for, but it's just like I don't know, you just. I don't know. Is bone collecting a popular thing? You think, or among some people? I mean, sort of like just like a hobby.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, there are people who collect like bear rugs and mounts and everything like that. So,
Fox furs and.
yeah, so I don't think that like collect, and there are people who collect butterflies and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't think it's the same kind of idea, but it is really kind of similar. I think in a way, you're collecting the remains of dead animals.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I don't think the idea of it is a little strange, but I don't think it's completely creepy and completely out of the norm. But definitely trying to collect roadkill is a bad idea. I just that's a really bad idea.
Yeah, imagine that. Just seems kind of unsanitary too, really.
Yeah, yeah. Better look elsewhere. All right. So that was the new. Oh, there was a new transaction this week as well.
Oh yeah, I didn't get to see that yet. Want to bring it up?
Um, I guess so. I wonder. I hope the water is fire doesn't really mind. Because I have some very opinions about this one.
Oh really?
Yeah. So what did you think of it?
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Okay. Well, let's change that then. So while we're going to find that, well, we probably would find it if we went through the galleries. Really, since it's taking forever to load, let's just do that. And my thoughts on it was the punchline is clever, I think. I don't think the build-up and delivery were quite there, honestly. Oh my goodness, advanced anime is gonna be slow right now. Don't give me that 503 error. There we go. I need to project better, it seems like. Fail on me. I think it's just because of how I have the mic set up here.
I think it sounds alright on my end.
Yeah, it does seem like you're kind of like maybe if I think I'll do that. Turn down the volume a little bit because it seems like people are saying that you're yelling.
Oh, sorry. I was just trying to make sure I was speaking up. Am I?
All right, that should be a little bit better, hopefully.
Test, test. Does that sound any better?
Yeah, oh, Gone Nuts is Quasimodo and Gone Nuts. You guys are great posters. Oh, Ruby has been posting some stuff too. So I pass it. Annie Robot's been posting stuff. I have the power.
I have the power.
You don't know, oh man, it reminds me of like the times playing Dragon Quest 9 and you go to use what is it called? Giga Slash or something like that?
Is that the one like? Well, wait. I think all Dragon Quest games have like really ridiculous names for their attacks, don't they?
Sometimes they're silly and stuff like that, but I wouldn't say ridiculous.
No, there's like some of the attacks like where they're called like kaswoosh.
Kaswoosh, yes. The swoosh series. Swoosh, swooshy, kaswoosh, kaswooshel.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. They just I guess for coming from Final Fantasy, it's just like these seem like they're trying to
Well, I
avoid
mean,
being Final Fantasy, even though they're actually both made by the same people, right?
yeah. I mean, Final Fantasy's got their own too with the whole like arrow, era. Oh, there it is. Eraga. Here we go. I don't know if people can see it. It is kind of small. Maybe if I click on it, it'll show up bigger. No, obviously not. Oh, oh, there we go.
What do we have here? Ah, it's super big. It takes up all screen.
It does. It was just like the opposite of what I wanted. Yeah. But I remember with with Dragon Quest 9 and stuff like that, using Giga Slash, and every time we used it, we were like, by the power of Grayskull, I have the power! And then you hit the enemies with Giga Slash, and it doesn't do all that much because they're metal slimes, and they just laugh at you.
Yeah, that was pretty funny when you did that.
Control middle mouse to resize. See, I don't have a middle mouse. Unfortunately, VZA, I don't. So it's pretty much just making fun of like how a lot of female costumes are revealing
Uh huh.
for the ones that are adults.
Yeah.
One stop shop for shortcuts. VZA needs a press. I think it's F5 or something. Or, no, it's Alt F4, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I know Control plus minus resizes. But that resize, that's a zoom. I guess I could have done that. But that's what it's basically about. And it's like, I think that's funny and stuff like that because it's true. You know, a lot of female costumes are really revealing, and there are a lot of people out there who would rather not wear that kind of thing, but they still want to dress up for Halloween.
Right, right.
Seriously. I'm like all kinds of fail with my navigation today. And I'm still probably really quiet. Oh! Mistress Kitty posted something with Pig. I must look at Pig. Pig. Ah, it's like the girl from Black and White. I can never think of her name. I liked her big hair, definitely. That's one of the things I did like about the female character.
Nice.
Yeah. You got Pig and Snivy and can't think of Chico something. I can't think of his name. Oshblot over there. Seed Striker, whatever.
There's the bird. Isn't that like star something?
No, Star Raptor's from Diamond and Pearl.
Ah, okay.
Alright, so I need to go back to the images again so we can go through the images. Alright, so let's go through them and always talk about. So, the discussion itself was what was it, cartoon versus anime and distinguishing between them.
Yeah, especially with that whole topic, Kurosuji or whatever, sort of just, I don't know, bringing it up again a little bit.
Yeah. So, what is exactly a cartoon?
Well, according to the one definition, a cartoon, it's actually been around since the medieval ages, right?
Yeah, something like the Middle Ages. Yeah.
Yeah, so it actually dates back quite a long while, even before we actually invented, I guess, what we consider to be animated cartoon, like with Disney back in, the 1930s and the 1940s.
Yeah. I think what I was reading was like animation in Japan started in like the 1917s. But like what we know as anime, the whole big eyes or whatever from like the Astro Boy kind of thing didn't start until like the 50s and 60s.
Hmm. Yeah, it's sort of like an interesting thing that Disney invented these characters with, I guess with, these features with like, big eyes, and then when like Japan sort of copied that into their animation style, and then it came back to the U.S. So it was sort of like, I guess, people copying people copying people.
Yeah. So so a cartoon, I guess, is just by like strict definition, it's just simply a 2D visual art, really.
Yeah, according to another definition, it said that it's based off of like caricatures, and they're often meant to be humorous, which a lot of times, oftentimes, cartoons are. But I
So
mean,
like an
in modern
exaggeration.
days,
So like an exaggeration of the human body or whatever.
yeah, especially with like chibi characters or making a character like especially short or tall.
Hmm.
But I mean, nowadays, I mean, I guess it doesn't even exist necessarily always have to be about humor. I mean, there are plenty of cartoons nowadays that have serious moments or are just not meant to be humorous
Yeah.
altogether.
I guess it makes sense though, because if you think about it, like there were a lot of political cartoons, and they've been around for a long time, but we've always called them political cartoons, even though there hasn't been like motion
Yeah,
involved with them.
right. Yeah, very often they haven't. I remember reading in a history textbook once they actually had what they call like a political cartoon from the 1800s. It was actually about the Abraham Lincoln election.
Huh. That's really cool.
I remember it was, oh yeah, and they exaggerated his legs to make it look as though they were especially long, making it would make out that he was winning the election race because he was especially tall and had long legs.
Huh. That's kind of silly.
But yeah, that was a political cartoon of the time.
Huh. So then, what do we have? Is what is the formal definition of animation?
Well, I guess animation is something that's animated, something made living, and so animation is the process of taking these cartoons and basically giving them the semblance of life by giving the optical illusion that they're moving, when really it's just a bunch of images placed next to each other that are moving really fast.
Yeah. It's really interesting and stuff like that because it's just like throughout history, anyone who's involved in art has been trying to fake motion. I mean, supposedly there are like Greek pottery and stuff like that that have the same picture drawn on them, and so that if you spin it, it makes it look like it's moving from frame to frame.
Wow, that's really interesting. So that dates back to even the ancient Greeks.
Yeah, but I don't think it was. I don't think the techniques were really. I just can't imagine them having like flip books until way later. So I think their illusions were still fairly primitive. And like with our technology and such, it just makes it a lot more feasible. It seems like.
Even then, though, that's still impressive. I really never would have guessed that it's actually been around for that long, or that they developed an idea like that. I mean,
Yeah.
it shows the basis of the idea.
Right.
It's there, but it isn't well developed enough yet. They haven't gotten to that stage.
So it seems like, simply put, it's just like there's overlap between animation and cartoons. Like a cartoon doesn't have to be animated, and at the same time, animation doesn't have to be a cartoon, but there is quite a lot of overlap there. You know?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. And it's just, it's typically like in modern times too. When you ever you think of the word cartoon, you almost always think of something that's animated too.
Right? Yeah, it's like the first thing you think of is just like, oh yeah, something like Recess or Doug.
Yeah, Ed, Ed and Eddie, the Powerpuff Girls,
Yeah.
Dexter's Lab.
Yeah, so that's what you usually think of a cartoon. Well, I mean, Cartoon Network is really big on their branding of cartoons. So it's like that's what you think of as cartoons. I guess it's more of a testament to how successful they are with their branding, rather than what cartoons actually are.
Right, exactly. Which just seems like our cartoon has almost become synonymous with animation
Right. Yeah.
at this point. Well, on that subject, we want to talk about, I guess, where the term anime even came from.
My feeling has always been that anime is just simply like it's like a loan word, or it's short for animation, and it seems like likely what it was a loan word, because anime comes from, or what, animus, I think it was in Latin.
Ah, animus?
Yeah, it means spirit or something like that.
It seems like everything comes from Latin.
Yeah, so it seems like it was a loan word all the way through to Japan, and they just kind of shorthanded it. So it's kind of like the idea that like anime, as we think of it, it's just like, now it gets even more confusing because like anime now is part of cartoons because it is that exaggeration of human. It isn't. It is a 2D visual art form for the most part. I mean, we do have those ones that are using CGI and such, which makes me wonder
Right.
what those would be classified as, really.
Cartoons that use CGI. Are you thinking? Are you talking about shows like Jimmy Neutron?
Yeah, like that. Because if you think about it, because like cartoon by its definition is the 2D visual art, usually an exaggeration of human proportions. But then where does CGI stand in? Because that's not really designed to be 2D. Those are, well, they are 2D in a sense and how they're viewed, but they're created in kind of more of a 3D plane, really. So yeah, I wonder where that kind of fits in.
Hmm.
So Elvin's saying anime more fluid and detailed, cartoon more general.
Hmm. It seems like people have always been trying it out to try, I guess, to distinguish the two. Like one has to be either on one category or has to be in the other category. Is there something different there?
Yeah, I think that's why some people like. I feel like a long time ago people used to refer to it as Japanese animation. I think that's what they originally used as their distinction, and we've just kind of changed it to anime is Japanese animation. It's kind of in that style originated with. It's like RPG and JRPG.
Right. Like when I hear the word anime itself, I normally would think of something, like along the lines of Pokemon or Cowboy Bebop or anything Japanese like that. Although I guess technically it would still be correct to use the word anime for anything even in English or whatever country it came from, really.
VZA is bringing up RPG, which is a completely different, because I think RPG role playing game is really misused as well, especially in the video game industry. So that's a whole different topic. But yeah, there's a lot of similarities actually if you think about it. But
Hmm.
like behind this, like the classifications, everything. And I think what it is like people just the reason like we classify and try to group things is just people want to get an understanding of what they're looking at or getting into.
Right, exactly.
If everything was marketed as RPG, how would I know whether I'm getting into like a turn-based battle system with a complicated level ups and stats and everything like that, or whether I'm playing something that's more on, open world, basic combat, real time, with kind of like a thrown in there level system.
Or maybe I'm playing a dungeon crawler like Zelda.
Which is also but then you've got like the overarching role playing elements, really. So I think that's where the same idea comes in. It's just like, well, I want to know what I'm getting. Am I getting, the action-packed or um, exaggerated but more realistic characters with deep storylines? Or am I getting something that's kind of supposed to be funny and a little bit lighthearted with kind of silly looking characters that, you know.
Right.
So I think that's why there's so much desire for the distinctions, even if the distinctions mean changing the meanings of the original words.
Right. Exactly.
Because when I say cartoon, the first thing you pop up is like a Dexter's Lab and such, you know.
Right. The more
SpongeBob.
generalized one.
Right. But I mean, if I say anime, the first thing you think of is kind of more like DBZ, Sailor Moon, and it's just like you can see there's a clear distinction between there. Even though, like by definition, Japanese animation, what we watch is no different is a cartoon in essence.
Yes, essentially they are. So I mean, really, there's a lot of overlap there. I think it comes up particularly with like series that are like made in English. Like for example, I think a big one is like Avatar, for example. Whether or not that should be classified as anime.
Yeah,
It's like anime or cartoon. It's like, well, it's made in the West. That's true, right?
yeah,
It's made in the West, but it's like I guess they feel it's because I guess it has a sort of Eastern style to it
yeah.
in terms of like their facial expressions, the way the characters are drawn, the action.
All right. But then you got like, so then what? You start calling it like American anime and French anime and Canadian anime. I don't know. I almost feel like we've actually have done that before. Like we have called it American anime or French anime. But it just seems weird to do that. Like, I don't know. Let's just call it anime. Yeah, no putting the country in front of it. Just call what is it, anime. But I mean, I think that's where the problem comes and stuff like that. Because you want something that differentiates. Like you don't want to call SpongeBob anime.
Right. Exactly.
So I think that's where the confusion comes in. It's just that the wanting for distinction when there isn't that distinction.
Exactly.
So I don't know. I can't. Yeah, because it's SpongeBob anime does sound very awesome, but a SpongeBob anime would be the same thing that it is now, or should be at least. I mean, SpongeBob's already animated.
Hmm.
You know
I
what?
guess you give SpongeBob blue hair.
That's interesting though, because like anime, it fits in one particular style of animation really. Because I don't think they've ever really used like claymation or anything like that. Which I found out claymation is actually trademarked. That is crazy.
It's trademarked.
Claymation is trademarked. I thought that was just what we called when you took clay and you took pictures of it, but supposedly it's technically supposed to be called clay animation, and claymation itself is trademarked by some company or something like that.
Wow. So is it even okay to like make, for example, a clay animation video and call it claymation? Or can they technically sue you because you used the term claymation where
Right,
you weren't supposed
claymation
to?
is a type of stop motion animation. That is correct. Like, so yeah, I guess they could sue you if you labeled your video claymation. They could probably sue you for it. It's like this isn't claymation. This is clay animation. If you want to call it claymation, you have to pay us royalties.
Wow, I could really see somebody doing that too. That's ridiculous.
Anime is a cartoon for grown-ups. I guess you could see that, but see the thing is though, like anime and is really for any demographic really. I mean, there's kid shows and teenage shows and adult shows as well. Just like how our cartoons can be for kids, adults, and so on.
True, and I think we're starting to become more open to that, to having cartoons for everybody over here in the West, because it seemed like
Yeah.
in past decades, it seemed like cartoons were almost more strictly geared toward children. And I
Yeah.
think that's where we got the whole idea, especially on Toonami, where we had shows that came over from Japan that were edited and reformatted to be more suitable for children. I mean, case in point, Outlaw Star.
Mm-hmm.
Just because clearly in the East, it's like not for children. last somehow make it for children.
Yeah. I think that is good though that we're starting to get more used to cartoons and really like any kind of visual media in general. It's always seemed like the visual media has been aimed at children, really. So it's good to see that
Right.
it's getting more and more recognized that it's for everybody.
Yeah, it's becoming more broad.
Yeah. Because I know like comics and stuff like that, a lot of people always consider, oh, comics are what you read if you're like a little kid, you know.
Yeah.
Though I think that stigma kind of left a lot earlier, considering comics have been around for, since the 1920s, if not before, really.
Yeah, comics have a long history.
So, but your original idea is just like, oh yeah, little kids taking their 10 cents or whatever and buying a comic.
Yep.
So I don't know, like it'd be nice to have another term that wasn't like this and stuff like that. But really, it's just like we're arguing semantics. Really, it's just like we're gonna call it anime, and we know that it's referring to Japanese animation and the style that we come to expect, and we know that we're gonna call cartoons cartoons still, and we have a certain expectation of that as well. But it really seems like this is certainly something that like should be made more aware that really, in definition wise, they are not different. But it's just like no one wants to really deal with renaming them something else. No one really wants to take the time to consider that. And everybody already understands what the terms already are. So,
So overall, really, there isn't very much of a key difference, and it's not really something worth arguing about at great length. I think is what we can conclude about this.
yeah, it's mostly semantics, really.
Yep.
I think
Semantics, matter of opinion.
yeah. It's like one of the things you just got to realize about language and stuff like that. As much as you write definitions and everything, really, what ultimately defines something is how people use it and the context. You can say something completely nonsensical, and if the person understands what you said, then you've given it meaning.
That's a very interesting way of thinking about it.
So that's really what it is. The general populace has come to terms with these two terms that really aren't any different, but the audience have come to accept that they are different. And we can continue on our lives knowing that when I say anime, you'll know what it is, and when I say cartoons, you'll know what it is. We've in essence already changed the definition. You know,
Wow.
that's deep.
Yep.
All right. Well, I guess with that, we can go ahead and wrap it up and go ahead onto the member guessing game for this week.
Yep. This week's member guessing game clue is July's birthstone. We'll be posting that in the thread later, and if you would like to take a guess at it, we highly encourage you to. Be sure to PM either Metal Monster or myself. Please don't post it in the thread. Spoil it for everybody. Be bad.
Yeah. And congrats to the people who got it right last week, and happy birthday to Wateriest Fire.
Yep. Happy birthday.
Hope she has a good one. Filled with cake. Lots of cake, because yesterday was cake day or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Huh.
It's also
I want a cake.
Also No Shave November and National Writing Month.
Huh. I did not know that.
Yeah. So hope you all had a happy cake day yesterday. Good luck on National Writing Month. You've got to write what is it, like 100,000 words or like a novel or something like that? I don't remember the rules for National Writing Month. But it's like you're supposed to write every day, and it's supposed to be like, is it like increments of more letters or something like that? 50,000 words. Oh, okay. And then good luck with No Shave November.
Yeah, depending on the rules of that, I've kind of already failed that.
Way to go.
I wish I'd known that yesterday.
I don't think I really partake in it too much. I just don't like facial hair too much.
Something I kind of gotta live with.
Yeah.
But, yep. That's that.
Yep.
So, again, this week's member guessing game clue is July's birthstone.
Yep. And remember to check out the forums, posting the threads, all that good stuff. Go ahead and check out the galleries, Gone Nuts and Quasimodo, and I think we've seen a couple other people in there as well. Pay attention to us. I am paying attention to you guys.
I need to make sure I get on this chat too.
I lost my train of thought again. I was just doing the wrap up and everything. So I was at galleries.
Yeah, be sure to.
Okay, yeah. Post in the galleries. Comment on the wonderful pictures that Gone Nuts and Quasimodo. Show us the costume.
Play a game of Tiger.
What Halloween costume? Yeah, I didn't wear a Halloween costume. Don't really celebrate Halloween. Sorry. The Halloween thread. Alright, I'll go ahead and do that real fast then.
Alright.
Look.
So there were only like 3 people who showed off their Halloween costumes.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
Elvin,
disappointing.
VZA, and Gone Nuts. So everybody in the chat pretty much.
Yep. So for those of you watching or who may watch this later, here's the people in the chat with their costumes.
Yeah.
Oh, pretty.
So good job, you guys, with your costumes. They look great. And I don't really know where to go from here. So thanks all for making this a wonderful 18th episode.
Yep, it's great.
Couldn't have done it without you guys. I think we're up to like what 680 views or something like that.
Yeah, it says 677 on mine, but we have non-total people here viewing the episode. I remember, I think it was Mercury Girl 2 commenting on congratulating us for having this many people on. It's wow, this is really something. Thank you guys so much.
Yep. Thank you all for watching, and hopefully we'll see you all next week. I'm your host, Metal Monster.
I'm Full Metal 289.
See y'all later.
Stay soft.